Sorry, let me start the recording. Okay, so
Recording. Yeah.
okay, if you do this Ansible hyphen version, right, you'll find the Ansible the versions which is installed and the config file, like the etc Ansible is the folder where the Ansible configuration file is there. Okay, as I told before, like Ansible is entirely written in Python. It's a Python tool, and Python is required before you install Ansible. Okay, even if you install Ansible, it will install Python for you, and then it will install the Ansible. Okay, so if you see here, Ansible Python modules, actually it is located in user live and Python 2.7. This is the module, and here actually Python, my machine Python 2. Let's check the Python version. Okay, so Python 2.7 is installed here. Okay, 1 second. Now what we'll do here, so let's go to the inventory folder that is called etc Ansible. Okay, etc Ansible. And if you see here, and last class I had told you that Ansible.cfg. Okay, so we have to work on Ansible CFG first. Let's open this one. As it is under root, okay, it is created under root, so you have to be make us yourself as root sudo su. Okay, let's vi ansible.cfg. And here what we need to uncomment the inventory file, because this is the inventory. We are going to make this host as the inventory. Suppose if you don't want to keep as host, if you want to keep as a different name, so you can put that name here itself. I'll show you that as an example also. First let's start with the default one. Okay, so I just uncommented this, and whatever, suppose you need some modules to be used, and that module, if you want to keep in the library, you can use in that one. Okay, so I'm not going to use now these modules and all. So first thing is I removed the inventory, uncommented the inventory path, and then the other one is okay. Okay, so let's save this one. We'll uncomment whatever is required as we move on to the codes. Okay, so I saved it, and let me just work on the hosts file. Okay, the inventory file. So if I just open the inventory file, and it has lots of things are there, right? So I don't want all this. Let me delete everything. Okay, I don't want all this, right? I deleted everything. Okay, so I'll just put everything as a grouping, right? So what, how you'll do the grouping? The simple thing, nothing, you don't have to add anything here. Okay, simple thing. Let's start with a group. Suppose I want a few web servers or application server where my website or web applications will be installed. Okay, so let me make it as web servers. Okay, and I'll create another group. It's called DB servers. DB servers. Okay, and I can create one more group where I can keep load balancer. Load balancer. Okay, now what I need to, I created three groups here. Okay, so I have to put the server details. So inventory contains the server information, server host details, right? So you, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put here the machine, the node machine or node server on which we are going to work. Okay, so let me first start one server here before to start. Mm, okay, so let me create a fresh one so that nothing will be installed, so that I'll show you how we can work on that. Okay, so freshly I'll create one. So quickly I'll create one instances. Okay, the server is getting ready now. So guys, just a big, just be attentive. Okay. So whatever I'm going to do, the setup is very important because so whenever you're going to work on Ansible, right? First thing is to get a connectivity done between the node and master, right? That is very important. The first step you have to do the connectivity test. Okay. So 1 second. Okay. So I got this is the white one is our control machine. Okay, Ansible control machine, and this green one will be our node machine. Okay, I have created only single node machine now. So far I've created only single machine. So what I'm going to do here, so the IP address of this machine. Okay, so IP address of this machine, let me get it. So this is the IP address of that machine, and what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put in the inventory file. Okay, so this is the inventory file, and I'm going to make this server as our web server. Okay, so let me put it here. That is the IP addresses I put here. And suppose for DB server, I want another IP address, so I'm giving you some dummy and some fake IP address here. Okay, .34.21.1 suppose, and for load balancer, suppose I'm giving something. Two dot, three dot, something I gave like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, I save this file. Now our inventory file is ready. I created three groups. One is web server, DB server, and load balancer. First, I'm just showing you with the single IP addresses, single server details. Okay, later on I'll show you different details. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, simple things. So let me first see how we can see uh, how we can work on the inventory. So there is some commands, Ansible commands are there. We can play around with the inventories first. Okay, so the commands are Ansible, okay, hyphen hyphen list hyphen posts. Okay, so if you want to see how many hosts, how many hosts are there, how many servers are there or IP addresses are there in the inventory file. So if you do all, what it will do, see, it gets all the, it's not giving the grouping details, it gives the IP addresses, the exact IP addresses, what the number of IP addresses available. So here three three IP addresses are available in the inventory file. So this is very useful command, guys, to find it out how many
Yeah.
IP addresses and all are there in the inventory file. This so far we are working on the inventory. We have not come to the playbook. Okay, so this inventory, and what else you can do, simple things. So if you don't want to see all IP addresses, if you want to see how many IP addresses is dedicatedly given for web servers, so you can just give the grouping name here, web servers. See, so it gives the IP address of the web server only. So remember, this is the Ansible command, and we are passing the argument is called hyphen hyphen list hosts. That is the option, and you are passing the web server, the grouping name. Okay. Similarly, if you want to see for DB servers, you just give it for DB server, and you'll find it out the details for the DB servers. Okay. So this is one way to do. Okay, suppose if you don't know what is the grouping name, you can simply give star also here. That also will work, because in web server that might be multiple groupings will be there. So if you want to find multiple groupings with web, you can give web star, so it will give you how many inventories details and groupings are there in the inventory file. So all these details you can find it out. Okay, so the next is, let's see, once we just put and add everything in the inventory file, and if you want to do a ping test. Okay, so guys, remember, this is the real time. So whenever a new server is getting added to the inventory, the first thing is we do a ping test. That's called ping test, to make sure that the server is responding before we execute any playbooks. Okay, so let's do a ping test first, because we have added multiple IP addresses in our inventory. Let me do a ping test. Okay, so there is a command, Ansible command again. Ansible, suppose if you don't know about this, you can just give -h for Ansible help, and you can find it out, all these commands, whatever you need. See, list, hosts, okay, and ask the bulk password. That's fine. So what else are there? All these modules and everything, hyphen versions, vault IDs and all, right? All these informations you can find it out. Okay, so let's do a ping test now. So what is the ping test? We'll have a module is called -aim ping. Okay, -aim and ping. So what is that? If you see here, there would be -aim module name. Okay, and then, or else if you don't want to write -m, you can write module name, then module name. So here the module we are going to use as ping, the ping module. So guys, if you see in the Jenkins, right, we are using various plugins. So plugin is nothing but a piece of software, right, piece of program. So we are using various plugins. The same concept here, actually we have plugins and modules. So modules also nothing but a piece of program and piece of software, right? So this, using these modules or these programs, we can work around with the Ansibles. Suppose I want to ping the server, what I can use? Ansible -aim. I'm going to use ping module. Okay, here let me give us all. Let's see what is happening. Okay, first what it says, failed to connect to the host via SSH. That's great. So all are failed. See what it did when I just gave Ansible -ping all. What happened? The Ansible just went to the host, that inventory file, checked for the IP addresses, because I have given all. So all available IP addresses, it tried to ping the server. As we do not have connectivity to the server is unreachable. So it's not able to connect to the server. It says unreachable, right? Okay, as this is our genuine IP address and these are the fake IP addresses, this is okay, we got unreachable. But why this is we got unreachable, right? So let's fix it. So what it says, the permission denied, that means we do not have permission from master to node machine. So how we can fix that? Simple things. We have to first set the connectivity between master and node, right? So in my previous classes, like Jenkins classes, I had shown you how to do that. So let me do today also. So see, if we go to the root folder cd, and you'll find .ssh, okay, and you'll see the public key of the master file. So we have already a public key generated. If you don't have a public key generated, you can use SSH keygen to generate a public key and then share that public key to the node machine. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here, simple things I'm going to do here, same thing also I do, sudo su. I just made root under the node and just go to the root directory .ssh, and here you'll find only authorized key will be available, nothing is there. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to get the public key get the public key here, okay, public key of the master, okay, and then add into the authorized key of the node machine. The simple things only. Done. Let's save it. Okay, so once you save it, what we can do, we can simply try to do connection manually, right? So let me do that. SSH root address, just give the IP address of the node machine. Okay, let's see what is happening. Good. Now we are able to connect to the machine. See, now we are able to connect to the machine. So let's go ahead and execute the playbook again. Sorry, execute the Ansible command to check and to see whether we are able to ping successfully to the server or not. Okay, so what I can do, Ansible -m ping, just give all. Okay, okay. So I have to go cd etc Ansible. Okay, okay. Because I connected, I should have exited. Okay, because I was in the node machine, right? I connected to the node machine. I was in the node machine. Okay, so let me just execute this again. Good. So what happened? First IP address, you can see it here. It is success. It's successfully pinged, and you can see here we have the success message here. Ansible fact discover and Python is there installed, and you can see here another message you are also getting. If you're getting a response of ping, they're giving a response as pong, ping pong, right? So if you're getting a pong response, that is a success. Okay, so we are giving ping and they are giving response pong. Okay, so and also you'll get a message like success. But the rest of the servers we can see here, it is not reachable because these are the fake servers we had given it to see how we can group it and how we can no fetch the IP addresses from the inventory. Okay. Now, if you want to specifically ping any particular server, you can just same thing you can give where servers. Okay. So it will just ping the particular server only. Okay. So that we can do also. So this is what we did pinging and all. Suppose tomorrow if you're going to add a new server and also you can just go ahead and ping that particular server. Okay, so any doubts so far, guys, or anything to discuss?
No, it's clear.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So
So Ranjit, we can ping directly IP address, no? Ping then that web server's IP address also, no?
no, that is see, from Ansible we are going to make sure like whether it
Huh.
is working nine. So better we just give web server. But if you
Answer through
want,
Ansible.
yeah. So Ansible way you can do directly. You can ping from this server and you can do it.
Ping in.
Okay, but we are
Yeah,
checking
yeah.
from Ansible way whether we can do it or not. Okay, so let me.
Yeah, yeah. Got it.
So uh, you can
Yeah.
do either grouping or particular so IP address if you want to
IP address.
do that. Okay, but don't do only simple ping like normal ping what we do, right? Don't do this ping, okay? Because we are testing from our Ansible server only, right? So from using Ansible command, so better you use
Using
Ansible way
Ansible.
to ping the servers. Okay, so either you can use the group to do that, or if you want to add, because suppose if you have added multiple IP addresses, better do using the grouping and all. Or if you have like single IP addresses, you can just use Ansible -m ping and the IP address. Okay, so okay. Now what am I going to do? So we are successfully pinged the server. Okay, so there are a few other things are there. Let me just do. If you do Ansible -h you'll see here a module, right? Module arguments and the hyphen a and the module arguments. The module argument is nothing but your the command. Suppose if you want to check the host name of particular IP addresses, so what you can do, you can use Ansible hyphen a. Okay, suppose I gave host name. Okay, and then if you want to get for all, just give all. Okay, so it will give you the host name. See, so what it did is just connected to the server and just fetched the host name for us. See, it fetched the host name. So this is the ad hoc way. That it means whenever you want to see something, you can immediately pass this command and see. In that way, we used hyphen "n" to give a module name to execute that one. And here, what happened? Again, we used hyphen "a" and just give some arguments host name and give all. So what happens? We just try to get the host name of that particular server, right? So here also we can just simplify using only particular groups. So it gives me the host number. So that is how we can play around with the inventory files. Okay, so there are a few other also groupings and mechanisms are there. So let me show you. And also guys, whenever anything you are studying, as I told before many times, you always should follow the documentations of their particular tools, right? Suppose Ansible, you have to there is one user guide is there. Okay, that is, you can use docs.ansible.com, Ansible latest user underscore guide and index.html. So this is their user guide and you can follow. They have given all the informations, because whatever is there, how to use the tool and everything, you will find it here. Okay, everything, and it's very huge. You don't think that you can finish it within month or within 50 days of time, right? So it is huge, and if you do practice all the time, hardly 1 hour per day or something, you can able to, be a master within 3 months of time. Okay, so Ansible is totally huge and very powerful tool, guys. Most of the organization, they are adopting this Ansible now. Okay, and if you want to see the versions, right here, the latest version actually is 4, Ansible 4. If you want to see latest previous versions, you can get it. Suppose previous version is 2.9, and you can get it 2.9 here. And if you, the documentation will change accordingly. See, if I do 2.9, it will change documentation.
2.9.
Okay, so here this is how the documentation is look like. Ansible command. So working with the command line tools. So I was working with Ansible command, right? There are multiple other commands also. Ansible Galaxy, Inventory, Playbook. Okay, so Ansible Pool, Vault. All this we'll see. Don't worry. And with the playbooks. Wait, okay. When we will learn this playbook, we'll go around all this. Okay, don't worry now. Now so here the Ansible concept are there, like control node, manage node, inventory, modules, task, playbooks, and all. Ansible concept. This is which you already discussed in our last class, right? I showed you what is the control node, inventory, task, playbook, modules, and all, right? So if you want to see specifically what are all
Yeah.
those, you just click on this and go through all these documentations. Now let me go to the latest one. So latest one, they have changed their UI little bit, and they have given few things here, writing tasks, playbooks, and all. And they have just given like this same thing also. They have given it over here. Okay, and playing with this. So okay, good. So now we are good with the inventory and the Ansible configurations file. Okay, so let's do and learn about playbook. So what is playbook and what we need to, how the tasks needs to be added there. Okay, okay. So what we'll know now, we'll learn about the Ansible playbook. Okay, so what is Ansible playbooks? So playbooks are one of the core feature of Ansible and tell Ansible what to execute. What means Ansibles are one of the core features of Ansible, and it tells Ansible what to execute, and it is used in complex scenario. So the playbooks means we are going to add all the tasks, whatever we want to execute on the node machine before your deployment or before your any kind of configurations, whatever the things you need, you have to put as a task in the playbooks. Okay, so playbooks are written in simple YAML format. YAML is nothing but your yet another markup language. Okay, playbooks are written in the YAML format, and it contains the steps which the user wants to execute on a particular machine, and these are run sequentially. Each playbook is a collection of one or more plays. There can be more than one play inside a playbook. This play is nothing but the task. Okay, we'll see how we can write a playbook and how we can execute this playbook. Okay, then the task, how we can add the task sequentially to be executed. Okay, so I have created few tasks, guys, few playbooks here. So simple playbooks, whatever I did, just using the command lines, right? What command I used? I used Ansible hyphen host name to check the host name by in the command line itself. If you want to see any commands and execute on the command lines, you can use this Ansible commands and get it done. But how we'll put all this in a playbook? Because playbooks are, guys, reusable, right? Reusable means if you have written a playbook, is tomorrow that same playbook can be used by your team members or some other teams in your company, in your organizations, or some other project. If they want to follow, they want to reference your playbook, they can take it and modify it or can reuse your playbooks. Okay, so that's the benefits of using the playbooks. Okay, and you can track whoever has changed, what change has been done and what is things has been modified. But if you are using some ad hoc commands on the command line, it will be one time only, you just execute it and get it. But if you add all this in a playbook, that can be used multiple times, right? So let me try and write a playbook. Okay, suppose here, let me go to that folder, etc Ansible. So here we have this Ansible.cfg and inventory file at the configuration and inventory file at there. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to add anything here. So let me just create simply cd home, I think CentOS, right? cd CentOS. So let me go here and you'll find it like okay. So I'm just going to create a folder here and I'll put all the playbooks in this folder. Okay, so let's create one directory for playbook demo, playbook demo. I created a folder called playbook demo. Okay, so let's go inside this. I'm inside this demo file. Let me create one file called vi. Suppose what kind of play I'm going to play, what kind of playbook I'm going to write, right? Suppose I'm going to write for host check, simple things, right? Host name, check host name, simple. I can give anything you can check underscore host name dot YAML. So this file should be extension should be YML or YAML. Okay, so let's hit it and all the YAML files syntax starts with the three dashes. Okay, I'll just give three dashes here. Okay, now let's start and write the playbook. If you see here, I have simply written one simple playbook is called how you'll write the playbook first thing. Okay, so if you see here, I have given hyphen host, and as I told, it is written in Python, and Python is the intent sensitive. The intent, if you give some space, one spaces for one task, and if you give more spaces for another task, it will throw error. I'll show you in examples also how it will be, how it will throw the errors. Okay, now suppose here what I'm going to give, I'm going to give one space here, happen. Now I'm going to write hosts, sorry, hosts. Okay, give all. Okay, now what I'm going to do, same thing, simple, whatever is given here, tasks. Let me copy paste this one and I'll show you. So if you see it here, it's only single space here, and the tasks should be just below to the hosts tasks, and the commands here is in list, like given a list called this one space here and the hyphen, then command. This command is one of the module. Okay, so I'll show you where you can find all the module lists, don't worry, and you'll see how you'll know the modules and how we'll put it in the playbooks, right? I'll show you all the module list. To now, what I'm going to do, I don't want this date to be there. So simple things, I just put hosts all task. What task you want to execute? I want to execute command module. What command? Host name. Okay. So let's save it and execute this playbook. Okay. So how to execute this playbook? You can use Ansible hyphen playbook command. Ansible hyphen playbook command. Okay, now what I'm going to do, Ansible hyphen playbook. So just give the playbook name is called check hostname to playbook. Okay, just hit enter. See how the play working. So what it does, let it finish. Okay, I'll show you how we can find it out.
Yeah, yeah. So Ranjit, this playbook we need to create in the home directory or anywhere we can create also.
Is anywhere,
Because anywhere, okay.
anywhere in your project directory, whatever. Not only in your home directory, you can put it any directory, any project directory, anywhere in the system. Okay, in the master machine
Yeah,
where you
yeah.
are just you have installed the playbooks, right? Ansibles. So
Okay.
what happens here, if you see the first, what happens, it just it said is unreachable. Okay, uh, first one is okay, the seconds all are unreachable. So what I'm going to do now, instead of all, let me just give simple only. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to work on only web servers. So what I can do, I have to change my playbook now. So instead of all, I can just write it here, web servers, web servers. Okay, instead of all, I just wrote web servers. What
Yeah,
will
yeah.
happen here? Now, if I execute the playbook, right? See, it just targeted only to that particular server, right? Now, you'll be seeing why it is not displaying all the answers. Guys, remember, when we execute the Ansible playbooks, it will display all the logs and everything on the console itself. In the console itself, it will display all the logs and all. Okay. And the same thing if you're using Ansible Tower, that the GUI, that graphical user interface, right? That will have also the consoles where you can check all the logs of each playbook executions. Okay, whenever you run in the Ansible Tower, you can find the same log, exactly whatever is written and displaying in the console, same thing you'll find it over there also. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, it is not displaying the host name here. So how can I do that? Simple things, we can do that by using hyphen v option. Hyphen v is nothing but the verbose mode. Okay, verbosely how we are checking the logs. Let's execute this. See, in the last command, when I execute without hyphen v, it gave me it just task executing the command, but it gives the play recap and only single what happens okay to changed one and all this. But if I give hyphen v, it gives me the result here, right? In the task command, it gives me the result changed the server, and the command we have executed host, and here the host standard output. See, it gives the standard output. This is the host name, we are getting it. Okay, now you'll see this play recap. What is this play recap? So whatever the task we are executing, after each task gets executed, it gives a play recap to see what has happened to the task, whether this task has been executed successfully or not. So if you see it here, it gives OK message 2, but it changed 1 because we have added only one task there, right? Changed 1. And unreachable 0, failed 0, skipped 0, and so all the play, whatever has been done, it's giving the recap. Okay. Now, let me add one more task, one more command in the host check. Okay, let's see what is happening. So what I'm going to do here, I'm
Ran-
saying, yeah, please.
yeah, yeah, Ranjit. Like that host, there is a means this is called module only here, but we can take our user-defined module here. We can write it like host.
Yes, I'll show you that how we can execute it. That is, suppose if you want to execute a script, you can see, you can
Yeah, yeah,
execute your user built-in modules or user-defined modules. That you can do that.
yeah.
I'll show you
It,
how.
this is built-in module, I think.
Yeah, these are the built-in modules.
Host and
Yeah. These are the
okay.
built-in modules. Suppose if you want to execute a script, that you can do it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
There are different modules.
yeah.
Again, you have to use their built-in modules to run your module. So this command is a module,
Okay,
and you have to use this command
okay,
module to execute something. You cannot use
okay. Now,
your plugin.
for example, what I'm my doubt is like that. For example, when you're writing the C function,
Mhm,
okay.
mhm.
For example, main function. Okay, main function there is a different type of a function you can write. One is user defined function. One is defined function. For
Define.
example,
Yes,
and user defined function we can write something and you call whatever you want to do. But
exactly.
like that in host, we can write anything. We
Yes,
can put it in library. You can call it
exactly. We can do
in
that also.
playbook.
Exactly. You can do in the playbook also. How you'll do it, I showed you when I was showing you in the Ansible configuration file, right? So here you can see
Oh,
library and module utilities. Like if you want to use your own library, you can keep all your user shares and my modules, right? You can keep your modules over here
okay,
in this directory.
okay,
Okay, and then you can execute it, not a problem.
okay,
But now it is commented only.
okay,
So whatever, remember, you have to share, and these things, whatever is given here, if you change something and it will not work, whatever exactly given in the configuration file, that should be there. Okay, so library should be the names.
okay. Means yeah, means if you are writing library, means you have to call that librarian everywhere where they were using. If you
Exactly.
give different name, that should be called. That name should be called, I think.
Exactly. Suppose you are giving my modules here,
Yeah,
right? The folder is my modules. Okay. Whatever the module names you
yeah.
give it here. And inside these folders, you can keep it everything. My modules, it will be there, my modules. And suppose you created a
Okay,
module called check host or anything, whatever the module you created, you just create the
okay,
module over here and you can call that module anywhere in the playbook. Okay.
okay. When you are doing in the class, you can once you saw that one
Yeah, I'll
that
show you. Okay.
where there's
Yeah, don't
yeah
worry.
user def. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
I'll show you how we can execute these user defined modules also. Now, let's see. Okay, so let me add something in the playbooks. I'm going, okay, this is not here. Okay, so let me just add something here, one more command, one more task. Okay, so here if I give, suppose I give a tab here, I gave a tab here. Okay, let me add, let's see what is happening. Okay, let's execute the playbook.
Yeah,
So see, as I told,
error.
it is intended sensitive. If you give wrong intended, it will fail. It will fail. It will not able to pass the syntax. Okay, now let me fix that. You have to be exactly give whatever is given the first one, right? So it is given, I think, space only. So I'll give exact spaces here. If I simply give less space also, it will fail. Okay, see, again it is failed. So let me correct it. So you should have been, because see, you'll get this kind of errors multiple times, guys, because there will be some spaces and some different characters that will come in between the playbooks and it will fail. Okay, so you have to be very careful. Make sure it is the same
Yeah,
exactly matches the intent.
I meant that.
Yeah, now
We
what
can use PyCharm also in
sorry,
Ansible for writing this play. No,
so
we can use PyCharm also.
anything you can write anything. So I am using vi editor, right?
On
Same
The editor.
same thing, I can just use see, I'm using vi editor here, and my one laptop I am using vs code. I have written lots of things in the vs code. I can use in the vs code and save it here, not a problem. You can do that. Okay,
okay, Visual
anything.
Studio.
Visual Studio Code, I'm just
Mhm.
Visual Studio Code I'm using.
Yeah,
You can use PyCharm, you can use
yeah.
anything you need. Even you can use simple notebook also, notebook, notepad. You can
Actually, PyCharm means you can able to contact dot indeed and all the things very easy if you're writing Python there.
yes, the intended because that is for PyCharm is
Yeah, yeah.
specifically built for Python, right?
Only
For
for
Python developers.
Python.
It
Yeah, yeah,
automatically it
yeah,
will
yeah,
show you the intended problem. That's good, Sibram. That's very
yeah,
nice tool actually. I have also
yeah,
used PyCharm. It's very good if you are working specifically for Python related programs, or Python. If you are a Python developer, right? Something Python related, then it's better to use PyCharm. Okay, PyCharm is very good
yes.
tool. So I have also installed in my laptop. I think let me check PyCharm. I have not installed. I have some called Atom. Is there. Atom is also very good tool, editor tool.
Atom also good. Yeah.
Atom is also, and I have VS Code also. Yeah, so VS Code also, I like this VS Code to work. So I installed VS Code and then I removed PyCharm. VS Code, actually I like this VS Code. It has all the extensions, and you can use integrate all kind of plugins here in VS Code. It's a very good tool actually to work on. Okay, fine. So you can use any tool, guys. You can use any tool. As Sibram told, PyCharm you can use because it will show you the what is the intended and it will correct itself. Okay, and it will highlight what is the problem with the intended, so you can work easily. Now, what I did, I just corrected it. Let me just play the playbook here. So let's execute. Now we are not getting any errors, and see here you can see the how many the task two tasks is given here. One is to check the host name and the other one is check the date, right? So here today's date, Saturday, November 20 and all. And here you can see here the play recap. If you see here, you can find it how it changed two. That means it's executed two tasks, right? Let me
Yes.
do something and throw one command. It's called I'll give something called hostname one. Let's execute it. Okay, so it is failed, right? So it is failed. What happened? Hostname one is not there. So you can see here changed zero. Nothing, no task executed. no tasks executed. Okay, one play having two tasks, and one task is failed, the other one is ignored. Okay, so what will say here, failed one, it says failed one, okay one, changed 0, nothing has happened. Okay, now correct me this one, and same thing, if we execute, it will execute like the before. Okay, now this is what about the playbook and how you'll execute the playbooks. Okay, one more thing, suppose the playbooks are in this folder, that's why we are executing the playbook like simple ansible hyphen playbook, the command, and the passing the YAML file, playbook YAML file. If you have kept the playbook in a different directory, so how you'll execute, let me go back to a different directory. Suppose if I want to execute this from CentOS, so how can I do Ansible Playbook? Okay, just give -f option, okay, and pass the entire path where the playbooks available, slash and the playbook name. Okay, hit enter. Invalid options. Anyway, -f is not required because you are giving absolute path, right? Yeah, so you're giving absolute path, you are just -f is not required. Okay, so in this way you can execute the playbook.
Okay.
Okay, now let's walk, this is how simple a playbooks just executed, and we did not change anything in the server, only simply we wrote a simple playbook to check the host name and check and execute the date command on the host server, right? So now what I'm going to do here, let's write a simple playbook again to install something. Okay, so let's install our the popular web server, Apache server. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I have written a simple playbooks. Okay, which what it will do, it will just install the Apache server. Okay, let me just do that and I'll explain you what is that I'm going to do. So I can just give us install httpd server.yaml. I just written a playbook here. Okay, so here if you see, I just give the host called as web servers, and here the become true. So what is this becomes? So let me explain about these modules. Okay, more details. Here I am using one module called yum. So where you can find all these details, just go to the Ansible Documentations. We have a module section here. I'll just ping you all this. Just a second. Let me ping, and you can follow this documentation. Without this documentation, guys, you cannot do anything. Okay, you have to follow their documentations. So follow this module. You'll get lots of module informations over there. Okay, and what you can see here, I was just working the yum module, right? How you'll find, you can see here the plugins and
How
modules.
many
Yes.
in real time? How many commands are using? Actually, how many commands? For example, in Ansible means, for example, install. If you working, how many commands you are using daily basis?
Okay, guys. So see, here we are not using any commands. Bidu, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, 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 Sivaram.
I see. Yeah. Sorry. We are not using
No,
actually. Yeah. See, here we are not using the
this
commands.
plugins and all this.
Here, see, that's why we are doing automations, right? We are doing infrastructure automations, right?
Okay,
We are doing configuration management. Again,
okay,
based on your requirement, you are
okay,
going to use all the modules and plugins. Suppose you have a very
okay.
huge project, you might be working on
Mm,
different various modules. But specifically, if you are working on on-premises server, only one server or two servers, Okay, and it is one related to the project, and there will be specific modules to related to that project if you are doing mostly for continuous deployment, and you need some
Okay.
simple configuration management which is required Java to be installed, some config file to be installed. In that time you have to use specific modules. But if you're working on a cloud infrastructure, if you're working AWS servers,
Okay.
you may need to work on the AWS modules.
Mhm.
You may need to work on the Google modules. You
Mhm.
may need to work on different kind of modules. That's why it's entirely based on your project need and the automations. But if you're working,
Because in
yeah, please.
in our project only Ansible is using for only SCM only, software configuration management,
Then you will be
because we are not deployed in cloud.
okay. So then you can use that SCM commands, GitHub, right? Modules, right? So I'll show you all these details. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
here, if you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
the plugins are there. Okay, these are the plugin index. What are the plugins? So ACU sudo. What if you see this code? Let me just go through this code. Here I have used become, and here I have used yum. So if you see here, this become plugins. Become is a plugin, and you can use run as sudo su and all, right? And if you go and check more plugin details, these are the lookup plugins. Okay, but we are more focusing on these modules. So these plugins, I'll show you what are these plugins and what are these modules and how it is related to each other. Okay, now what I'm going to use, I'm using, suppose, yum module, right? So if you go to down, you can search it here, and or else you can see here one package module, yum package, right? Yum modules are available here. So how you will use this yum modules? Any module, if you want to search it here, just simply search this documentation, right? Search, suppose, yum, search for yum, and it will give you the entire details, all the links about the yum and all. So simply do that. Okay, now I already have this yum available with me. What I'm going to do, I want to check with this yum how it look like. Okay, so just click on yum, and it will give you the details how you can use the yum module in your playbooks. So below requirements are needed. Here you can see here, like what are the versions, auto remove added in 2.7, added in 2.6. These are the parameters for this module. What are the parameters do you need to be add in the playbook? You can find it over here. See, lots of parameters available. So all these parameters you cannot remember, right? Obviously you have to follow the documentations of Ansible Playbook, right?
So,
So you'll come down and you'll see here very good documentation with examples they have given. Okay, so here you can find the parameters called name, state, right? All these available. So if you go here, you can see state. So what is this state? This is very important. Mostly we are going to use this state only. Okay, and name, this is the name of the task, name of the task which you are going to execute. What is 7? A package name or package specifier, whatever the name you are going to give. And here, if you see the state, it gives there like absent, installed, latest, present, and removed. Okay, so here they might have added a few more in the latest versions of Ansible, or because they are keep changing their codes, right? So if you see here, when to use absent, when to use installed, when to use latest, when to use present, and all. So whether to install, if you are going to install, so in the last class somebody told me, right, Sibram or somebody asked me how to, if you install something, how to remove or uninstall that applications in the wrong server, right? You can use this way. If you are going to install, you can use present, installed, or latest. If you pass all these parameters in the state, sorry, in the state parameter, if you pass these values, present, 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 latest, installed, that will be install the software. If you want to uninstall, If you want to remove, right, that you can use absent and removed will remove the specified package from the server. Okay, so let's see and do one example here. What I have written here in the task, I have given become true, means it will be executed as root become as true. Tasks, how many tasks I have given? Only one task over here. Name, just simple install Apache. It is yeah, user specific, you can write whatever you want, install Apache. But when we pass this yum, we are giving name equal to httpd. What is the name? httpd, or you can give Apache, whatever server. No, sorry, you cannot give Apache. You have to give the exact package name. If you give
Yeah,
Apache, it will not work because the yum
not
module,
fine.
yeah, the yum module have only this httpd package available. It can install httpd. Then state, the parameter state is given here. I have given present. That means it's going to install the Apache server. And then here I have given update hyphen cache. What is that? Let's go and check. Let's go and check here. Update cache. You'll find here update cache. So what is this update cache? Force yum to check if cache is out of date and re-download if needed. Has an effect only if state is present or latest. Okay, that is actually optional. You can either give it or not it. Okay, if you want to make your cache up to date, to make sure, like if any software is outdated or you want to re-download or anything, the cache, you can just update it, right? So you can remove it or you can just give it yes, no problem. Okay, it is a simple task is written. One module I have written yum. Similarly, we may need different multiple modules, guys. I'll show you when we'll do a project on that. After this, we'll do a small project. That time I'll show you how we can execute all this. And there are also some programmings also there, guys. Looping, conditions, and no checks. Everything are there actually, and templating, some Ninja templatings are there. We need to be very careful when you are writing. I'll show you each and every part of this Ansible, and I'll guide you how you can do by yourself. Okay, so just try to write simple playbooks. Just write it, just play. Okay, then you'll find it how you can execute the in the playbooks in a different ways, and you can write your own plays. Okay, now let's save this one and execute, and let's see what is happening. Okay, let me execute. So what is the command to use? Simple thing, Ansible hyphen playbook. Okay, and give the playbook name. Okay, let's hit enter. So what it does, so it is installing the Apache. Good. What it says is just changed one. That means it installed Apache. Okay, now if I go to this server, okay, let's go to the node machine here. So my Apache is installed. If I do ps-ef grep, not running now. So Apache server is var cd var www, right, and then it will be under HTML, right? cd HTML, it will be okay. That means it is installed correctly. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I have to start the server. So here simply in the playbook, what I did, I simply started the, sorry, installed the httpd, but I did not start it. I'll show you how to start that one also through Ansible, but let me start it manually first. Okay, so what I'm going to do, system ctl, okay, start httpd, sorry, sudo, okay. So if I check the status, it will be running, I think. Status. Yes. So our Apache server is running. So let me access this Apache
Running.
server. Yeah. So we installed the Apache server. Let me just go here and give this IP address, hit enter. See, our Apache server is running. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here, there are lots of things, guys, I'm going to show you, but step by step so that you will understand, okay, easily. Now, let me just add something manually in this index file, in this HTML folder, okay, base folder, index.html. Simply, I'll write it something. Okay. Now, if I refresh this, got it. So our Apache server, our application is up and running. Okay. Now what I'm
Running.
going to do here, let me just, okay. What I'm going to do here, I don't want this Apache server to be there wrongly I installed, as Sifram was asking. So we can uninstall that one. So how we can do that? Simple thing. Instead of present, instead of present, we can write absent. So the spelling
Okay.
will be, you have to write absent. You have, how you'll get it? You can get it from the documentation, right? So
Documentation.
let's go here, absent. You'll find absent here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here, absent. Okay. Now let's save it and execute the playbook. Okay, so you can see here it is changed to 1. That means the playbook worked perfectly. Okay, now if I go here and refresh my application, it will not be there because it is uninstalled. See, it is not there. So let's log into the server and check. Yeah, suppose if I do system ctl uh,
Status.
status http, okay. So it's not there because httpd service is not there. It is uninstalled. Okay. Same thing, you can uninstall if you installed it by mistake or anything. Now let me change it and I'll tell you. There will be a question, guys. If a application is already updated, application is already installed, will it? If you execute the playbook by mistake, what will happen? If you already have executed once, and if you re-executed the playbook by mistake, what will happen? Okay. So let me just.
It may skip running.
Yes. So it will skip because it will check the server package details. That is one modules and methods that are gathering facts. Okay, fact gathers that I'll tell you in our upcoming classes. Okay, so how we'll see the gathers and check to verify whether these things are installed or not. Okay, so now my Apache server is installed. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the server. Let me start it manually again. So here system ctl start. Now, that's why I just copied it here. I have to. Let's go. Okay. Now, if I go here and refresh, see, it's there. I installed it again. Okay. So first, if I re-execute the playbook, let's see what is happening. It will simply ignore that one. Okay. So before executing, let me give a in a verbose mode. Okay. This will this they'll ask questions, right? I'll check the logs in details. By using the -v options, you can get the entire logs in the console. Also, this -verbose actually in Ansible Tower, whenever you are executing, there will be a drop down list. There will be a box where you can mention the verbose, how depth how depth you want to check the logs. Okay, suppose let me install it again. Let's see what is happening. Good, it changed 0. That means nothing happened because it's already installed. What it says, if you see the outputs, right? Okay, message results, this package which we are providing httpd is already installed. Okay, that means it will not
Yeah.
install it. If you are giving a new versions, then it will find the older version is there, so what it will do, it will just install the new versions. Okay, if the same version is available,
Update.
it will just ignore it. It will just ignore and skip it. Okay, it will just skip that one and nothing has happened. Okay, now I was talking about the verbose thing, right? Let me do that. If I have used -v single once, if I can use -v 2 times, I can use -v 3 times. Okay, suppose I use 2 times. Let's see how deftly we are getting the outputs. Okay, so see guys, how deftly all the details it will give us here. See all
Oh,
the
double V. Okay.
-v options, all the details it will give it here. Okay, so like that you can see -v, or if I want to give triple V also, you can provide it here. Okay, to give you more details. See, complete details about this it will give.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get mad for a single command.
Yeah. So mostly actually whenever you're troubleshooting something, this is actually guys a troubleshoot command.
Very helpful.
Yeah. So whenever you're troubleshooting something, then you can because sometimes what will happen, you'll be executing the playbook and it will not be executing properly. That time you have to pass these options to debug. This is a debug command. Okay. You have to pass all these informations hyphen triple V or hyphen VV or list or simply -v to check what is going on in the backend. Okay, so you can get all these details.
Ranjit, one thing, you want some part, don't want to every parts of what the debugging value debugging. You want some parts. Then how you will do that? For example, when you are connecting to the IP address, is it connecting or not? That debug things, how can you will get? Is there any command this thing like that -v or something we can give?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Sipam, there was a backend noise was coming, so I had muted myself. Okay, what you were telling? Sorry, can you tell it again?
For example, you want, for example, when you are connecting the IP address, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you are connecting the IP. There is some part of log while you connecting, or some part of log I want. Don't want to all the logs. For example, when I debugging, I know that on
No, no, no,
first part only it is failing.
no,
I
no,
want
no, no,
that
no,
part.
no. You cannot get it. So everything will be written in the standard output.
Okay,
Whatever part you want, you can get it
okay,
there. Everything will be written in the standard output. Okay, standard output and results will be same. So if you want to troubleshoot, then you have to open that particular log file and then check for that particular part. Okay.
okay. In notepad, you have to
Yeah.
do that and which one you want to troubleshoot.
Exactly. Exactly.
Plug
Suppose
in
you
that
want
one
to
you have to add, I think.
suppose you want to get all these logs in a notepad, you can redirect these logs to a simple thing. You can give install
Not
httpd dot log.
Log.
Okay. So it will
yeah.
redirect everything to this log file. Okay. See, everything is redirected. If you want to view anything, you can just use VI or any data editor. You can just open this log file. Okay, you just open this.
Uh,
See, all these log files are available. Okay, all these levels
okay.
are here. Now you can find it like this. Okay, so this
Yeah.
is yeah. Any questions, guys? Somebody was asking something. Okay, now let's go ahead and see how we'll install Git also. Okay, suppose I am going to install Git. How I'll do it here? Simple thing in this install. Let me just rename this file instead of giving install httpd. Let me just rename this file. Sorry, vi not vi. I'm going to rename this file to make generic one. Install software. I'll give us install software. Okay, install software. Got it. This playbook. Oh, sorry. Install software. Enter. So I renamed this playbook. That's fine. What I'm going to do here in this playbook, I want to add another task. Okay, I want to add another task. What you'll do, simple things. As it is a list of tasks, we have to put our code in a list also. Hyphen give name. Okay, give us column install git. Okay, something you read, you write in that. Just give the package module yum package I'm going to use. Then see, this yum module I'm using because I am using the Amazon Linux or CentOS. Amazon
CentOS.
Linux or CentOS, I'm using the yum package module or Red Hat yum package. If you are using Ubuntu, the package manager for Ubuntu is apt or apt-get. That module also you can find it
Applicant.
over here. You can find in the module sections also for apt and all, right? For Ubuntu there is using apt, right? So just go to the module section, you'll find apt. See, manage apt packages. So this apt packages is nothing but for your Ubuntu machines, right? So what I'm going to here do now, I just added install git. So just give name equal to git. That is what I'm going to do. State equal to present. Okay, and updating cache is required or not, is optional. If you want to give it, or if you need to update the cache, you can give yes. Okay, so let me do simple things here. I just added one. Let's save it. Okay, so I have added, so I have added here two tasks. Okay, let me execute this playbook. What is that? Ansible hyphen playbook. Okay, and install software. So let me just add hyphen v to check the logs output, right? Hyphen v. Let's see what is happening.
Yeah.
So the first one, it is already installed, and the second one, it is installing the git. See, it gives the all the outputs here. What is happened? So if you see here, they changed equal to 1. That means we have only one changes. The two tasks were there, but one just ignored. No changes happened, and then second one there is a change. That's why it gives it the play recap. We can see here changes one. Now let's go ahead and check whether git is installed or not. So here, if I check git, wow, so git is installed here. Now if I see git hyphen version,
Install.
it will see git is installed now. Got it. So this is how, guys, today we saw
Yeah.
how to write the playbook and how to play around the inventory and Ansible configurations file, and how to write your own playbooks and simple playbooks and ad hoc playbooks. And ad hoc we have not checked it yet. We'll see it. what is this ADAP. You'll get questions definitely from ADAP that we'll discuss in the next class, tomorrow's class. Okay. So we wrote simple playbooks. There is a task for you. Just go home and write a simple playbooks and try to play around it. And then tomorrow's class will see more in depth with fact gathering, and if a software is installed, how to check a software is already installed or not. Okay, before executing this, and how we can run the other commands, and we'll learn more details in depth, more modules on playbooks. Okay, and we'll see the conditions looping if we get time tomorrow, or else we'll keep it in the next classes. Okay, so there are many things: Ansible Galaxy, roles, programs, everything are there. We'll do one by one. So maybe, so today's time is almost 10 o'clock. Okay, so we'll catch up tomorrow. I don't want to put everything to you today in one class and you will be overwhelmed. So better just do practice, write a simple playbook, try to find it out and play around on the inventory configurations file and playbooks. Okay, so we'll catch up tomorrow. Okay.